Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Southeast Termite and Pest Control. Football is here. That means the fall invaders are also on the way. Box elder bugs, ladybugs, stink bugs, they all want to get into your home. And if you let them, you will find dozens of their little offspring running around in your home next spring. Call Southeast Termite and Pest Control, just as I do, every fall and get the fall invader treatment. They do great stuff. SoutheastTermite.com to learn more. I've used them for years and years and years. They've been around for 50 years, folks. Half a century. Southeast Termite and Pest Control. All right, back with Jimmy Himes right here. And beside him, Daniel Hood is with us. Daniel, welcome into the show, VFL.
Thanks for having
Good to have
me.
you here.
Thanks for having me.
All right. I want to ask you guys, Tennessee has sold more season tickets this year. Sterling's going to be over there ramping up the crowd, as we know. Bandit Lights is going to be doing another unbelievable job with the lighting over there, another light show. Fireworks, whole 9 yards. You got the new party zone that's opened up. Cool stuff. It's a great experience for the fans. But, and I'll show you the numbers here in a minute, is Neyland a big home field advantage anymore? Daniel, you played at LSU, you played at Florida, you played at Alabama, and of course you played all your home games at Neyland Stadium. Is Neyland Stadium a bigger home field advantage than any of those places? Lesser? Or are they all just kind of the same now because they're all huge?
My opinion is they're all pretty much the same. I got to play in, like you said, every stadium that's really out there. And the only ones that it ever really helped is if it was a team that we were quite even with. You know, when we were playing in Alabama, it didn't matter if we were playing at a Little League school, a Pee Wee High School, or Neyland or anywhere else, they were going to beat us. And so it was the coaching that mattered more. Now, when we were playing Vandy and there may be one play that we really needed the crowd on, boom, had a great home field advantage at that point. But it's very sporadic and not something that's going to change the course of a season by multiple wins.
Jimmy, you a big believer in home field advantage?
For Tennessee, no.
Right.
I base it on one-loss record. So when I look at the one-loss record and you take out the weaker opponents, if you just take SEC, the record at home's not that good. Now,
Well, go ahead. I was going to go ahead and put it up there, but go ahead and then we'll show it.
and part of it, I said, look, you could have, should have had a home field advantage with the Ole Miss game. It was a great atmosphere. You lost. Georgia, a lot of folks there, you lost.
Pitt.
Pitt. You still haven't been able to get over the hump against the better teams. So that, to me, defines home field. And to me, a lot of times, the home field advantage is determined by how good you are.
Bingo.
That's a part of it.
Bingo. Let's go to the graphic here and show you guys. I went back. If you're asking why 30, you got to stop somewhere. And there's a gambling database I use. But I looked at the last 30 games overall for all the teams in the SEC, and then I looked at each team's last 30 SEC games. And what you see is Tennessee 15-15 at home in their overall last 30 games period. That ranks 12th in the SEC. There's only two teams worse than you. In terms of SEC record, only Vanderbilt is worse in their last 30 SEC contests. So despite the size of the crowd and all this other stuff, I think, Jimmy, you're right. And Daniel, you tell me if you agree. I mean, Georgia's home field advantage in the 90s wasn't that good. But, boy, the Swamp and Neyland Stadium were spectacular. It's kind of switched now, mainly because of the team. I mean, the team kind of makes most of the home field advantage, doesn't it?
I'm going to say the team makes 95% of it, but I also think that our UT administration hadn't really put in the effort like Danny White's done in this year to give the changes to the stadium, getting the vol letters back up there, getting another Jumbotron, letting Mike Strickland and Bandit Lights do what they want to do. So I'd like to almost put write this one in pencil and not pen yet, because I want to see it after this season.
Yes. Yeah.
I think we've got good coaches that are going to give you a good product. Let's see if what we're doing this year can help get them above what their baseline should be.
I thought Doug Dickey was a tremendous athletic director, but he said something that to me no longer holds true. He said that if you win, they'll come.
Yeah.
I think you got to do more than that. I think it's a game of entertainment, and you got to entertain them with a light show, with fireworks, whatever you got to do. And also you're competing with so many other entities to try to get folks in the stands. So winning is not just good enough anymore. You got to have a show. You got to entertain people.
Agreed, completely. And Danny White gets that aspect.
Yeah, he does.
And then the problem is, the older you are, the less you like all that stuff. You know, you don't, what is this music, and what is these lights and that kind of stuff. But and I'm closer to that age group than I am the young group. But you need it. It's also part of the recruiting too. Yeah, I mean, the kids come in there. I think Danny White gets it. It looks like they've got the right guy at the right time in terms of what you want to do with stadiums and what you want to do around the stadium to create a draw for your fans and also to build excitement. And again, whereas this may not help you with your win-loss record yet, it also it does create a better fan experience. So while they may not win or they haven't been winning, that was more fun to go over there last year and see that team with an explosive offense, and you see the fireworks go up and all the other stuff. I just think he's got it going in the right direction. We'll see what it does with the actual record moving forward. All right, we have a new segment we're going to throwing in every Sunday. We call it the Chuck List. So let's go over to Chuck Cavaleris for the Chuck List. Not a checklist, it's a Chuck List. I'm going to have a couple of quick questions for you. First one today. The first question is, whose stock is rising or falling coming out of fall camp?
Well, one person that seems to be making some eye-popping plays is Tamarian McDonald in the secondary, and he brings the type of versatility they like. I think fans are going to like what he shows in the secondary, and he may be capable of playing that star position where he can help cover the slot.
All right. Whose stock fallen after?
You know, and this is a tough one, John, without actually seeing a game yet, but I'm going to say Gerald Mincey. And the reason I say that, it's a transfer from Florida, offensive line. It's not so much what he has done, it's what he hadn't done. He hadn't taken control of that left tackle position. He looks more like a number 2, number 3. So hopefully that changes once the game starts.
Okay, very good. And then you've got the Cavaliers line coming up. So I want to know what kind of numbers the odds maker at the Chucky C. Note Casino, what kind of numbers are you considering when you're putting together the line for Tennessee Ball State for us?
Well, we know what the Vegas line has done. The first one I saw late May, early June was Tennessee by 30 and a half. So that's gone up slightly, 33 and a half now, last I saw. So you're looking at that also, the total, it's up there too, 68. But you've got some stats here that you showed, John. Tennessee, you're 37% or less at home against the spread, in those last 30 games. That means that the opponent is like a 63% winner against the spread. So that's something to factor in there too.
All right, very good. And you will be back a little later factoring that in for us. Now that all the guys have seen they haven't covered the spread as well over the last few years, we'll see how that plays into everybody's picks later in today's show. When we come back, is UT more likely to start strong or finish strong? Start, finish. Will they start strong or finish strong this year? We'll discuss that next on the Sports Sword.